Okay, when I first saw this hand cannon, I thought it was going to be pretty awful for it being a 180, but guys, if you know me well enough, you'll know that I can't stand 180 hand cannons, purely because I'm just terrible at using them in PvP. But if you guys enjoy using 180s, then this might be for you. So we're going to go over the new Vulpecula Stasis hand cannon, go through all the rules, the God Rolls for both PvE and PvP, and honestly, this hand cannon isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So guys, comment what rule you got down below, and let's jump right into it. Now firstly, before we start, if you enjoy these sort of videos, I do have a never-ending expanding playlist that you can go check out for more awesome top tier weapons and God Rolls in Destiny 2, as well as our new Season 15 class build playlist coming up at the end of the week, so stay tuned for that. So in this video we're going through the Vulpecula, and this bad boy is a 180 rounds per minute stasis kinetic hand cannon that can be pretty deadly inside a PvP, especially at close range. And yes, before you ask, it can free tap players with the right perks. And I do also want to point out as well that hand cannons did get a 15% damage buff against minor adds in PvE, which makes this weapon usable inside of PvE content. Now I probably wouldn't take this into a Grandmaster Nightfall, but I would consider it due to the fact it does have some sweet useful perks that won't just benefit this weapon only. And that does take us to the next part, which is that this is a stasis weapon, and stasis weapons have their own unique set of perks. Now we'll get to that very shortly, so let's take a look at the initial stats of the Vulpecula. So the Vulpecula has an impact of 78, range of 39, which is just awful, but it's a 180. Anyway, 58 stability, 36 handling, 57 reload speed and 69 aim assist, with it tending vertical, which is what you really want for this type of weapon. Now taking a look at the potential rules here, in slot 3 we have Ensemble, Shoot to Loot, which is quite an interesting one, and this could benefit you a lot in the endgame PvE content. Encore for stacking range bonuses, that seems pretty good, not gonna lie, but Tunnel Vision, Killing Wind and Outlaw are the other ones that we have. Man, those are some good rules right there. But in the 4th slot to pair with those rules we have Headstone to spawn stasis crystals. That is actually going to be pretty good to pair with some crazy PvE stasis builds. Adagio, potentially making it a 160 hand cannon in exchange for extra damage. Doesn't seem to catch my eye, considering we would still have that ranged fall off disadvantage. But then we also have Harmony, definitely your God Roll right there. Multi-kill clip, opening shot and explosive payload, oof, quite a few good ones there to choose from. But before I start going through the good rules, I will just point out that I will be showing what the best rules are for PvE and PvP, and then afterwards I'll give you what I personally think would be the true God Roll. So starting with PvP, to make our God Roll, you want to boost up that range and damage because we're a 180 hand cannon. We're going to be deadly at close range, but you're going to struggle at mid to long distances. So my God Roll choices for PvP in the 1st slot is Hammer Forge Rifling, in the 2nd slot you want Accurized Rounds, or you could even go with Tactical Mag to get those faster reloads in, and take in mind that you can't waste primary ammo anymore, so this won't give you any negative effects, and if anything it will benefit you more if you have some good perks to combine it with. But in the 3rd slot I'd go with Encore or Killing Wind, but Tunnel Vision is also a good keep if you roll one with that. Now Shoot to Loot could be interesting, I haven't tried this out, but I wonder if shooting a heavy ammo wall brick would pick it up. Probably not, but either way, stealing ammo from enemies across the map could be pretty funny. Now for the final 4th slot, you 100% want to go with Harmony to get that extra damage after final blows with another weapon. This is fantastic to pair with weapons like shotguns, snipers, fusion rifles, and that buff will last a fairly good time for you to get the next kill. I actually found this perk pretty good in PvE, but that is just my opinion. Now speaking of PvE, let's go through the Vulpecula God Rolls to use inside of PvE content. Starting with slot 1, you want to go with Full Bore or Hammer Forge Rifling to boost up that range, especially if you're planning on fighting tough adds at a distance like doing a Master Nightfall. Otherwise you'll be getting low damage from range fall off, and you'll be sat there unloading clips upon clips, but Extended Mag is another good choice. Now slot 2, we're going with Appended Mag, Tactical Mag or Extended Mag. All are great, and for my preference I would be going with Tactical Mag for a quicker reload and larger mag size. Now your main perks are in slot 3, so for PvE I'd be going with Shoot to Loot, definitely your 100% go-to for harder content. If you got a few bricks lying around on the floor, you could just use a good heavy weapon for DPS, swap to this weapon, shoot a brick and that weapon will be reloaded. This could actually make a huge difference in the DPS you deal, depending on the weapon like a slow reloading rocket launcher, but the only other perk I'd consider for PvE is Outlaw. Now for the 4th slot, I'd be going with Headstone if using a Stasis build, otherwise it'll be multi-kill clip or Harmony. Now shoot to loot in Harmony could be a really deadly combination inside of PvE, especially if you have some good special and heavy weapons. Shoot an ammo brick to reload all your weapons, swap to that reloaded weapon, get a kill, swap back to the hand cannon for extra DPS, and then just repeat. You literally will never need to reload, especially if you have other Stasis weapons that use the same or similar perks. Now my true God Roll for PvP would be Hammerforged Rifling, Accurized Rounds, Killing Wind, and Harmony with a ranged masterwork. Because we are a 180 RPM hand cannon, you want that range up as high as possible, as well as dealing as much damage as possible to get that 3-tap kill at a further range than normal. The true God Roll for PvE for me would be Full Bore, Tactical Mag, Shoot to Loot, and Harmony with a reload speed or ranged masterwork. And of course a minor spec mod for harder activities, major spec for easier ones. For PvE, it's all about getting that DPS up as much as you can, or getting those quicker reloads, larger mag sizes, or using perks that boost damage to this or other weapons will greatly benefit you. Just take into consideration that you need to maintain that range, so you don't want to end up losing DPS because of the distance you're killing at. Now overall, this weapon is pretty good for it being a 180, and my thoughts are that I'd be using this in PvP as well as PvE, but I probably wouldn't take it into endgame PvE regardless of the 15% damage buff we got for hand cannons. The time it takes to kill using this weapon at a distance is just not worth it in comparison to scout rifles that can do a better job because of the range advantage. And when you're playing those harder activities, you need that range to keep a distance because ads will just tear you apart quickly. So guys, that is your full Vulpecula Legendary Stasis Hand Cannon Weapon breakdown reviewing God Rolls in Destiny 2 Season of the Lost. If you enjoyed this one and you want to see more, then be sure to check out that playlist below, or show your support by leaving a rating, comment, and of course a sub or two, as these videos do take quite some time to make. But for now, give this one a try and let me know what role combo you got, and I'll see you soon for the next one.